Hey everybody, this is Jo. I'm here in Houston. I am about 2 weeks from Hurricane Beryl, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that there was a lot of destruction going on. This is what we call retail therapy. Just to try, you'll see why I'm feeling sad and bought all these plants. You'll see in a minute. And then here's our stack of concrete. They're going to put our fence back up and it's being inspected by Buttercup. And I'm glad to say that Mrs. Doubtfire, who has been very scared of all the tree trimmers and everybody and all the noise, has finally shown back up for several meals a day. So what I'm going to show you first is the thing I'm so excited about. Look at this little Eastern Black Swallowtail Chrysalis right there on its host plant, which is fennel, which is looking pretty sad. It blew over in the storm and is not very happy, but this one blew over in the storm. And it's just sort of laid down, but look how pretty. It's got little blooms on it. I saw a butterfly out here laying eggs all over it. And, oh, there's a nice little, hey, little green guy, little green anole lizard. So, you know, life goes on. One of my favorite things that's blooming, that I moved it in the spring, I guess, and it has taken its sweet, sweet time. Oh, I've blocked myself in. It's taken its sweet time to come up and bloom. Look at that. That is Duranta, and that is a native Texas plant. And I planted it sort of in the middle, right in the middle of this, to try to support it and get it to grow up and out, and it's kind of worked. There's a big sprawly piece there, and it's just making me really happy. After all the destruction, it is making me so happy. Now this sad thing is that yesterday, maybe the day before yesterday, when we thought we were done with all of the hurricane mess and the giant machines in the yard and the replacement of the pole and all those things, a second crew of tree trimmers who did not care about anything came and just trashed the trees. Unless it's the winter, you don't usually see this whole building, this whole garage apartment on the back side of our house. And they just it was awful. I sat and cried. So today we had guys come in and take the enormous pile of branches that were cut off away, and with a little retail therapy and a couple of good cries. Oh, look, Miss Doubtfire knew. I mean, she's been basically MIA since this storm, because I think our generator was so loud and it just scared her. And then so many men in the yard. And so I'm trying to look on the bright side, and I'm going to show you some pretty things. And then I'm going to show you how terrible it is in the back. I love this coneflower. This is the, what's the name of this one? Powwow Wild Berry. It just keeps on going. The black and blue salvia, now a bunch of it kind of fell over in the storm. Oh look, we've even got a little bee. A bunch of it blew over in the storm, so I have trimmed it back. This is not the last 2 summers. We have gotten lots of rain this summer. Next week, it's going to be like in the 80s the whole time. It will not hit 90 for 10 more days. And so, last summer was like in the hundreds, and we had no rain, and it was horrible. And so I feel pretty comfortable going ahead and cutting this, which just had fallen over. If it was 100 degrees outside and it hadn't rained in a month, I would not clip it off. I would stress it too much. But all in here, I went ahead and trimmed it kind of hard, and I feel like that'll help it. But there was a little bit, I tried to leave some things that were blooming for the bees. And then this sweet little aquatic milkweed, just getting ready. It hasn't quite popped open, but I love it. It's just pale pink a little bit before the blooms open. And one of the things that has done really well, now don't laugh, I've done this so that we've got workmen that are going to build the fence back. This is a Blackfoot daisy, and I've just bumped it up so nobody would ruin it. If I pull those out, it'll lay right back down. Blooming through it all. Oh, I love this rose. It's such a great rose. Nearly wild. Hello, Mrs. D. What you doing, girly? Are you the garden helper? Oh, we're glad to have you back. Yes. This got smashed pretty badly. And so a lot of coneflowers took a hit. My poor little pink skullcap looks pretty awful. Yeah, this got really smashed by something, but you know, what are you gonna do? Blooming away is this wonderful Texas rock rose, which of course I've caught again, once again, closed, a couple of cleomes, and then a whole lot of beautiful crocosmia all fell over in the storm. So that's kind of a mess. I sort of had to prop back up my little obelisks. They were all sort of leaning over. And a part of the retail therapy, you know, I have this little swath that I just recently put in of Mystic Spire salvia right here. And I bought a couple more. I'm not sure what's happening over here. Got smushed. These grasses, native grasses, I've given up on. But I'm not gonna deal with them right now. But I've got some pretty little roses blooming over there. These little roses, they look ratty, but they're like doing their best. They're like, it was a hurricane. This is the best we can do. Things got flattened pretty badly over here, but it's not the worst. Here's the worst, y'all. Here's the worst. You can just see. Do you remember when there were plants here? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember when this was plants? Yeah, I remember that too. And you can see they just chopped off. They're trying to get things off the lines, but they just chopped chunks off and then left them, but they also dropped them onto everything. And they cut huge pieces off of this oak tree and then just dropped, 20-foot long, 500-pound oak logs just onto these plants and broke the trees. And so we're trying to figure out what to do. This tree, they were cutting this. I had this beautiful little wax myrtle that was nowhere near the lines, right? Nowhere near. And yet they dropped everything from here onto it and broke off. So this is my best job. You can see I've just tied it up to try to, it's a hot mess, y'all, but there's new growth at the bottom, and I'm hoping I can get a couple more big sort of stalks, big trunks from that. But they dropped things on top of my Turk's cap, which is still pretty. I'm trying to, and y'all can give me advice. I would love it. It's still July. It's still Houston, but it's not a drought summer so far, knock on wood. I don't know whether I should just leave this and trim it in October when it cools off and let it puff back out, or go ahead and trim it now. I don't want to stress it out so much that I lose the plant. And so for now, I'm just leaving it. But if y'all are if y'all give me, hello, little man, if y'all give me advice and everybody says, do it, cut it back, then I will. I am cutting back things if they're just destroyed. But I'll leave a little bit of green. This is shrimp plant, but you can see, what was left behind. You are so helpful. Yes, Buttercup, such a helper. So yeah, this had plants. This had plants in it. I think that's American beautyberry there. I think this is an American beautyberry there. Oh, Miss Doubtfire. And I had pretty little ferns in here. Here's the remains of a, oh, that's a weed. I got excited. Oh no, is that a fern? That's a weed. So it's so sad. It's such a bummer. Here's our fence. Oh, they've taken our, this is my first look since I went and had lunch. Our fence dudes, bless them, came and have started on the new fence. Here's the remains. Well, I mean, it's terrible when you can't quite find the remains of something. I think my fence dudes aren't making this better, that's for sure. Here's my oak leaf hydrangea, which, again, you know, advice, y'all. Do I trim it? Do I just like leave it? You know, prop it up? I'm not sure. And then this hot mess. Look at the state of that tree. That's a mess. It's a mess. But here's my little vine. This is my pipe vine that's still going. And then, oh, my poor wisteria. They obviously had to rip it off to do the fence. So that's new to me since I've walked out here. Oh, look, Peaceable Kingdom, 2 kittens at once. You guys. Now, in case you're wondering, Buttercup has spent 2 evenings, not overnight, in my daughter's room. We're trying to teach him to be inside. He seems fine with that. But he gets wild, and so she puts him back outside. Okay, here's signs of life. This is what I'm having to focus on. In this, you can see these beautiful ferns were just trampled. This is from the tree trimmer guys, right? The storm didn't do this. The tree trimmer guys did this. But look, already little new curls. Don't you love the little curls of a fern? Little fiddleheads, right? Coming up. And then, oh, I was looking over here. Well, they've kind of smushed it. But over here, this bog sage, this Salvia uliginosa, look at this. Just new little growth. So here's another one that I have a question on. Now the storm did do this with this penta, this huge penta. You can see one piece of it's still standing up. The rest of it's just laying flat. There's not that many flowers for the bees, and so I'm tempted to just leave it. And I figure that with the sun hitting this, it will start to send up little shoots like this and maybe fill in. You know, if it was March, I would cut it to the ground and let it come back. Right now I'm trying to preserve the flowers. Give me your advice. Tell me what you would do, knowing that this is Texas and not Connecticut. Let's see. I put this little thing, I pulled out the plant that was in here, but I just left that just as something to sort of ornamental, just to sit it in there, because I pulled out all the parsley that was back there. You're such a helper, Miss Doubtfire. You are such a little helper. And then, of course, all my flower pots are gonna get moved. We're gonna wait for the cable dude. We're gonna get the fence dudes to finish and the cable dude to finish. And then we've got some work moving things back. It's a hot mess back there. But, you know, from here, right? From here, it's not so bad, right? If you just sort of stay inside the frame, and you can see purple and pink and these pretty white flowers and a little Mexican hat. And this is closed up for the night, a little salvia, coral nymph. You know, you can find a little hope. And even this latecomer, Daylily, what are you doing here? It's July. All your friends are gone, right? can find a little beauty and a little hope. I have to take a closer lens, right, to see it, because if I pull too far back, then I see, you know, destruction. But up close, it's chrysalises and flowers, and I've seen a lot of butterflies, and so it's okay. I might be done crying. It's true. I might be done crying, and maybe hopefully this therapy right here makes me feel better. I'll put that in pots in the back where the worst is, and wait for October to come. Well, thanks for going on my little journey, you guys, and listen to me complain, and thank you for all your sweet comments from all over. I appreciate you checking on me, and thanks for listening to me moan. Goodbye, y'all. Take care.